yesterday. We pick up with the concept of Bnei and Soter, the building and taking apart of things, and when we're allowed and when we're not allowed. So yesterday, where we, sorry, just letting someone in. It's not working. Hold on. I don't know why it's not working. There it is. Okay. So we talked about the window shade. And one of the things that's possible to happen with a window shade is the strings can be, dispersed somehow, and in the way that someone could trip over them and fall. You're able to move the window shades. If the window shade has come dislodged in a way that it becomes dangerous for anyone, it might fall on someone or something like that. So either if you can ask a non-Jew to either move it out of the way or fix it or lodge it into something, great. If not, then you can yourself, because if it's potential to cause any harm by falling on anyone or someone tripping on it, so then that becomes a different issue, and then it's allowed to prevent that from happening. And once it's allowed to prevent that from happening, you can move it and push it. You shouldn't try and fix it to restore it to its regular place, unless that's the only way that you can ensure that everyone's safe. But the basic thing that you can do is just push it to the side or something like that. Now, the next thing that he talks about is a stander. So this is like a podium, or they have those things for the books, which open and close, and there's a leg and so on and so forth. All of those, raising them, lowering them, that's just adjusting something within its standard use, and that's okay. So something like that is allowed to be opened or closed. You can, this is, to take a Sefer Torah out of its case in order to roll it from one place to another is allowed. That's not considered a problem. He says, "Mutar lechaven meshakefet b'Shabbat latima l're'iyah merachok al yedei sivuv hakaftor hamiyuchad lekach." It says if you have either a microscope or a telescope or something of that nature, and you're adjusting the dial so you could see further or more clearly or something like that, you're allowed to do that. V'chen mutar lechaven kiseh noach or agalat tinokot lematzav haretzoy lahadam. So too, if you have an adjustable chair or a baby stroller or a lounge chair or something like that, to open it, to twist it, to turn it, to get it to it's already built, and now you're just adjusting it so that it fits comfortably for the person that wants to be using it. In all of those instances, so that would be okay. We're going to talk about unfolding a baby stroller in a little bit, but basically all that would be okay. Let's say you wear glasses, right? And as I see some of you do, and the glass pops out of the eye, pops out of the frame. He said, if a regular guy, right, you're not an optometrist, you're not a repair person, if a regular person can return it back to its place, you could kind of just pop it back in. You can return it to its place if you need it, provided you don't need to play with any screws or things like that. Once you have to start screwing things in or unscrewing them and then rescrewing them, so that you're not allowed to do. You're just popping it back in, right? Which is true of a lot of the glasses. You just pop the lenses in when they pop out. If that's the case, you're able to do that.
Rabbi,
Rabbi,
there's some like a chair. Some chairs that have to adjust it. It's looks like a screw going into a hole almost.
If it's made that way and that's the normal thing that it does, then that's fine. It's already been set up and established that way, and it's no problem. I would say If you're taking that chair out of the box and you're
Uh-huh.
setting it up, that would be a problem. But
Okay.
if you already like the chair that I'm sitting on right now is like an office chair, and it's got all of it, the bells and whistles.
Right.
So you're allowed to sit on it and play with it and do all the things because it's already set up from before Shabbat. You're just adjusting, and the
Mhm.
adjusting for this thing is not a problem.
Okay.
So he says that Sir Kvitzi Shemeshemesh Achzakat Niyar Toilet Im Yatsa Memkomo Asur Lachziro Limkomo Bashabbat. So he says the toilet paper holder, if it falls down, we should not re-put it back in on Shabbat. I guess I'm not sure what he means by that. Is he talking about the like it's screwed into the wall, or is it's not really clear. So I'm not sure what he means. I guess he means the thing that holds the toilet paper, the bar that the toilet paper, rolls around. And I guess if you need to replace it, he's saying that you should not. So I guess just, we talked about toilet paper in a previous class about the ripping and so on. If that's what you have, so then just leave the roll of toilet paper on the side without taking apart the I don't know what that the little bar is called, but not to be using that. Gumiyot shemahadikim el ragleh hakiseh or shulchan kedei lema'et et harash b'shat hazazatam asur lahakrivam v'gam la'asiram asur. Very often on the bottom of the chairs you have either rubber or felt or plastic covers so that the chairs don't either scratch the floor or make too much noise. So you're not allowed to put those on or take those off on Shabbat. Asur להפוך עגלת תינוק לעגלת טיול וכן להפך, או לחבר מושב לעגלת תינוק, כשהדבר נעשה על ידי הברגה. אבל אם הוא נעשה על ידי צירים או בבית וכדומה מותר. So now he's talking about a baby stroller. He says, listen, if you have to screw the thing together, then you can't do that on Shabbat. He said, but most of them are what we call snap and go, where they're already, you would have to have built them before Shabbat, and you're just clipping it in, clipping it out, folding it up, unfolding it, pressing the button. When it's already ready-made, it's already there, then it's not a problem. You're allowed to fold it, unfold it, and so on. This is true of, I think he gets to it, but it's true of a wheelchair also, to fold it up or unfold it. So it's not only taking the children, sometimes the elderly need this as well, or the injured, infirmed. So those things are allowed, provided you're not building it, right? But if I have a wheelchair, right, that is not assembled yet, and now I have to start, sticking wheels onto things and screwing it and doing things like that, that I would not be allowed to do on Shabbat. If there was an important need for it to get someone somewhere, I guess if you had a non-Jew that was able to do it, that would be okay. But ideally, if you have a wheelchair, you should be setting it up from before Shabbat. חישוק גומי שהווסת מאופן העגלה, וכן גלגל שהתפרק מן העגלה, או קפיץ שיצא מקום חיבורו, או כל קלקול אחר שנעשה בעגלה, אסור לתקנם. ואם יראה דבר זה בשבת עצמה, אם בנקל ניתן לתקן את הטעון תיקון, אסור להשתמש בעגלה זו, ואף אסור לטלטלה, גזרה שמא יבוא לתקן בו ביום. He says, so let's say you're using one of these things, a stroller, a wagon, a wheelchair, and the wheel falls off. So you really can't put it back on because that is fixing something and therefore fits into the category of building. So unless it's that snap style that we're talking about, really you can't do that. You can't be putting it together or taking it apart on Shabbat. הליכון, והוא כיסא תינוק מחובר משני חלקים, אשר החלק העליון ניתן לפירוק, ואילו החלק התחתון מיועד להרגיל בו את התינוק ללכת, מותר להרכיבו בשבת או לפרקו. So here he's talking about a child's stroller. Again, same story. If it's If it just kind of folds or snaps into place, that's fine. But if you have to actually assemble it and put it together, that would not be okay. Okay, now one of the things that's a favorite in my house, making seltzer, right? Soda stream, a major item in Israel. Right? Mutar la'asot meh soda b'Shabbat. You're allowed to make seltzer on Shabbat. בין אם על ידי מכשיר לעשות סודה באמצעות הכנסת בקבוקים למכשיר, ובין על ידי המכשיר לעשיית סודה באמצעות הברגת בלונים למכשיר. He says all the different types of things that they have to make soda that are basically just putting gas into the water. He says they're all okay, and so there's no problem of making seltzer water out of water on Shabbat. You can use the soda stream or whatever other version of soda stream that you have. Asur b'Shabbat latet avkat pudding or avkat pera tapuche adama b'toch mayim or latet alahem mayim u'larbev b'kaf mishum shenotzeret belila ava v'chen hadin b'avkat jelly she'asur l'tanav b'mayim b'Shabbat. So he says you're not allowed to create a pudding or a jello or something like that on Shabbat. Meaning you take the powder, you put it in the water, and the water is now going to congeal and become a different substance, a different form. So you can't do that. This is different than making tea or something else, because this is you're converting the substance from a liquid to a solid, and so that's not allowed as well. So anything.
Rabbi, what about chia? Chia changes its consistency when it gets wet.
Chia,
it's not a pudding,
right? So I think that's okay because you're not. I'm not positive, to be honest, because I have to think about how. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. You're kind of adding water, and then it kind of becomes something else. It sounds like what we're talking about here. So I'm going to say probably not allowed. Probably not. Probably shouldn't be done. I'm not positive about that, but because I'm making a jump here. But probably shouldn't be allowed. Yeah, I have to. I hope I'll have a chance to look at some of the sources that he has here and think about how it might apply to chia. But basically, you're taking the water is being absorbed by it, and then I'm not positive. It might be okay. It might be different because it's not it's sort of congealing. I don't know.
That's how it's eaten, though. I mean, that's the deal. I mean, it's not you can have it dry, but most of the time that's how it's eaten.
Right. The other thing that might be different between these two, which is the congealing of all the other things that he's talking about, generally, generally takes a little longer, whereas the chia is right away. So maybe there's something to be said for that, but I'm not positive. So I'm going to stop here for now because I want to just make sure that I'm prepared for the siyum. So we'll stop here today and we'll pick up next week. Let me know if this works for you guys or not, because it's Chol HaMoed. I wanted to do the minyan later, and then I would do the class later. If you're on work schedules, then I'm not going to play with it. I'll leave it as is. But if you're not, so what I would do is like 7:45 to do the class and 8:15 to do the minyan. But I won't do that unless that's good by you guys. So give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm good either way.
So how long are the prayers on the holiday? Like 45 minutes or less?
Yes. I imagine it's going to take us till about 9 o'clock to finish. I could do it if you wanted. I could do 7:30 and then make the minyan 8. If that makes it difference.
That'd be preferable for me, but it's I'd go with the majority.
Right, Joe.
I actually jump on another class right now till
Right.
8:15. But it don't, if it works for everyone else.
Okay, let me see what I'm going to do. Either way, we record it, and I can get it to you.
I could text later and see if I don't know what the schedule is going to be on for Lamod.
Okay, so let's see let's see. I'm going to think about it today, and then I'll put it out there.
Rabbi, quick Passover question. Do you have to replace all the toothbrushes, or like what if you don't have enough? You don't.
No,
Do you have to
no.
clean them? Anything special?
Just make sure there's nothing in them. Clean them out. But once you clean them out, it's used with cold, and there's nothing. Just clean it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do Bior Chametz right now and then that's it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You don't have to wait till later.
At what time do we have to stop eating chametz? 11?
10. 10, stop eating. 11:15, it's got to be out of your possession.
Okay, the opposite. Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
All right. So, and what time is the Siyum?
8:15.
I know you sent it. I apologize, but we have
No problem. 8:15. We're going to pray 7:45. 8:15 to Siyum.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Take care.
Okay.